What's poppin', Ravens? Welcome to this week's edition of ONW Now. I'm Gavbot alongside Nandini Rainikindi.
On today's show, we preview theater's production of The Music Man.
Plus, we have a story on one local cheer team bringing smiles to kids in our area.
And we'll take a look back at our fall sports season with the team recap.
We've got a great show for you guys today, so let's jump right into it.
This weekend, ONW Theater will be putting on a production of The Music Man. Let's take it to Ethan Moore for a sneak peek.
Coming this weekend to the ONW Now Auditorium is the timeless classic, The Music Man.
The Music Man is about this guy named Harold Hill, who's kind of a con man. He goes into this small town in Iowa, and he starts selling this town band instruments, promising that he's going to teach their kids to play.
While the actors have been working very hard, they've enjoyed every minute of rehearsal and learning the new acting style.
My favorite part about this show specifically has been, I have to say, the acting. Majority of what people have been doing, they've been doing so much period work. This takes place in the 1912s, so it's oh, we have to talk a certain way or something. It's really funny. I really enjoy that part.
The theater teacher, Miss Hastings, is proud of how far they have come and all the work that has been put into production.
The kids here at Northwest has really surprised me. Everyone's been so on top of it. Everyone's been working so hard. There are things that people do before I even tell them to do it, and it's everyone's so proactive and so talented, and I couldn't ask for a better team to work with. It's been amazing.
This production has taught many young actors valuable skills.
Probably working with people and problem solving is something I've learned through theater. Yeah.
The Music Man is well underway at Olathe Northwest, with shows on November 16th and 17th. On the 17th, there's 2 shows, 2 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Come enjoy the show.
Tickets. First show is tonight at 7.
KC Cheer, a local cheer team, created a Cheer Abilities team. Cheer Abilities is a program for kids with disabilities to follow their dreams of being a cheerleader. Macy Standen has the story.
I love working with the Cheer Abilities program. It's because they're so invested in it and they're very just committed to what they're doing. They love it. It's a great time.
The Firecrackers is a cheer team made entirely of young, eager athletes with special needs.
I was actually here when we were like, hey, we should have a Cheer Abilities team, and there's some other gyms in the Kansas City area that have some Cheer Abilities teams, and we just thought it would be really cool to get involved in that.
The Firecrackers love being able to cheer for a loving crowd and are excited for the upcoming season.
My favorite is probably the tumbling. Ooh, that's a good thing. I think I do cartwheel.
While the mentors are teaching the Firecrackers, the mentors have learned plenty in return.
The Firecrackers have taught me to not judge a book by their cover, because one day they'll come in being super happy, and the next day they'll come in thinking we're having fun, but we're not going to do anything cheer related. And then we'll play games, or we'll be super sad, or we'll have story times. So I just think that we should just not judge people. Don't
be afraid to be yourself, because there's so many different personalities on this team, and they're not afraid to say what they want to say, and just each of them have their own personality, and they show and express who they are, and I think we can all learn from that.
For ONW Now, this has been Macy Standen.
This week is our annual Week of Giving. Let's take a look back at your Raven spirit.
time for sports. Let's send it over to Game Day for a recap on our fall sports.
Hey Ravens, welcome to this week's edition of Game Day Northwest. I'm Katie Lockyear. And I'm Annamarie Struck. In the next couple of weeks, we will be wrapping up the fall season with team recaps. We'll start with golf. We send it over to reporter Holly McCormick as she goes one-on-one with a couple of star golfers to get their thoughts on the season.
With the conclusion of the girls' golf season, they look back at their accomplishments as a team.
As a team, I mean, obviously you want to win, and at state we ended up getting 7th, but we did pretty well in league. We got 2nd in league, so I'm pretty proud of ourselves.
Not only did the girls have success as a team, but also as individual golfers.
Overall, for me, the season was pretty good. It started off really well. I won the first 2 tournaments, but then in the middle it kind of got a little rough. But then back at state, I picked it back up and got 3rd.
Overall, this season at the beginning was pretty good. I shot my best score at the beginning of the season, and towards the end of the season at state, it was a little bit of a struggle, had some ups and downs, but overall, I say it was a pretty good season.
As a leader on the team, Victoria has left a major impact on the girls.
I hope to inspire the younger girls to get better and improve their scores and just love the game.
After processing the season, they are already looking forward to the next season.
Next year I'm hoping to improve my mentality, because that's a big thing about golf. It's all about mental, and also improve my score.
For Game Day Northwest, this has been Holly McCormick.
Up next, we review the tennis season. The always entertaining Ethan Goss served us up a recap.
The Ravens girls tennis team had a great run this season, will unfortunately be losing 4 multiple-year letter winners to graduation. Coach Smith lets us know how proud he is of these seniors.
Yeah, we had some seniors who were on varsity for several years. We had a couple of 4-year letter winners, Sydney Moore and Mallory Brown. And we had a 3-year letter winner, Emma Andreasen, and then Jaden Brandstrom, I think, was a 2-year letter winner. So we had lots of experienced team members, and they were all just such good leaders from the attitude they brought to practice. Yeah, just the example they set by coming and working hard, picking up balls that went outside the fence, going to get the water jug filled up with water, stuff like that. Just leading by example and working hard when they got to practice.
Senior Emma Andreasen reflects on her most memorable moments from this past season.
We just love car rides because we can sing together, we sing Centipede, we bring a lot of snacks, and so we can share those. And that was probably my favorite memory. And we always go to Brahms when we go out in western Kansas, and so it's just a tradition that we've had the past 4 years, and so I'm really going to miss that next year.
The Ravens are excited about what the future holds for the team.
Next year, we have Jocelyn Mattingly. She's a sophomore this year, and she's been on varsity for the last 2 seasons, so we're expecting big things from her. Carly Shear was a freshman this year who played number 2 varsity singles most of the season, so obviously expecting her to step up. And then Maddie Andreasen was a sophomore who played some varsity, had some injury issues this year, so as long as she's healthy next year, expecting big things from her. So those 3 are probably the biggest underclassmen we're expecting to step up.
Emma has trust in the lower classmen and believes that they will be successful in the future.
I hope that the seniors this year taught the underclassmen about kindness and how that can be one of the most crucial traits of a leader. And you just have to be really empathetic and willing to work with your teammate. I hope that we taught them not to point out someone's flaws, but to just lift them up and help them to be better.
For ONW Now, this has been Ethan Goss. Now back to the desk.
Now let's kick it on over to soccer with Coach Graham and a couple of players to reflect on the season.
18 games, 11 wins, 7 losses, and 13 different goal scorers. Any season can be chalked up by a set of numbers, but it means so much more than that for this Raven soccer team.
Just the environment. Going to practice every day after school with the same group of guys, and traveling to games on buses, which we did not lose a game where we took a bus. But yeah, it's fun to be around the same group of guys all the time for 2 or 3 months on end.
The boys soccer team just finished their 2019 season, and most are in agreement that one game stands out from another.
They all have equal importance because they all do matter, but I think the most fun one was probably the Olathe East opener because we had a good crowd and it was a fun ending.
I think that for us, I think the rivalry games, the Olathe games are always big. So obviously starting off the year with the Olathe East game, that's always just kind of a heated rivalry game, and we haven't always had, even when I feel like our teams have been better. I think we've struggled to get over the hump at times and beating them. And so beating them this year, I think, was a big deal for us.
However, senior Mason Badowski has a different idea on his favorite game of the season.
Even though we did beat Olathe East, I think the Olathe West game was definitely the best. I mean, even though we lost. Because, I mean, the stands were just packed. And, I mean, we played great that game, too, even though we didn't get the result.
This team consisted of 7 seniors, all important to the success of the group.
I hope that I left the team better than when I found it, because that's ultimately the best thing you can do for a program. So I hope I made it better for next year and the upcoming underclassmen.
Coach Graham and the boys are proud of this season and all the effort put in. Though the seniors will be missed, excitement is high for next season.
It always goes so fast. I appreciate all the hard work that all of our guys put in. It is a massive time commitment. It is a lot to ask. It can be up and down from an emotional standpoint, and I just appreciate all the hard work that all of them put in throughout the season. So,
for ONW Now, this has been Malia Boyd. Now back to the desk.
That's all for Game Day Northwest. Congrats to all the fall sport athletes and their success. We can't wait to see the winter sports in action in these upcoming weeks. We'll see you next time, Ravens.
For this part of our show, we're going to introduce a new segment to our show, Exotic Eats.
You, Gavbot, but I'm excited to see that in the future.
Well, that's all we have for you today, Ravens. For the latest on ONW news and sports, make sure to check out our Raven Daily Twitter account and website at onwravens.net.
And if you can't make it to our Ravens Athletics signing day during seminar, be sure to catch the live broadcast on our ONW Raven Daily YouTube channel.
For Elaine and Daniel and the rest of the Convergence team, this has been Nandini, Rainikindi, and Gavbot.